This is an SWX Nonstop Local sports presentation. The University of Idaho Vandals take on the Utah Tech Trailblazers. Powered by Inland Power and Light, SWX College Football starts right now.
You blink and 50 years goes by, and today the Idaho Vandals celebrating 50 years of playing football here at the Kibbie Dome in Moscow. And we've got a bout for you that'll be a conference battle next year, a non-conference game this year as Utah Tech has made the trip to take on Idaho. College football on SWX is presented by Inland Power and Light Company, powering our communities since 1937. We welcome you inside the Kibbie Dome, everybody, joined by my broadcast partner, the coach Adam Shackelford. I'm Austin Getz. Coach, you talk about playing at home, and obviously the Vandals want to celebrate 50 years with a win. They do that, and they've won their last 8 games here in this building. Their last loss here coming at the end of the 2023 season. Yeah, and again last week played really well, and you know, this is a Utah Tech Trailblazer team, formerly Dixie State, changed their name. 0-2 this year, but they've played 2 really close Big Sky games. Had UC Davis beat at the end of the game and ended up losing, and then really played well against Northern Arizona last week, only losing by a touchdown. A lot of athletes on this team. They're trying to build something here. I think it's going to be a fantastic game today. Yeah, head coach Lance Anderson and the Trailblazers getting some advanced scouting for next year when the Trailblazers join the Big Sky Conference. Settle in, everybody. We got a good one on tap. Both these teams have played 2 very close back and forth games through their first 2 weeks. It'll be Utah Tech to kick off, and the Idaho Vandals sporting a jersey that's an homage to the 1975 squad in the gold tops will be receiving. Back deep is Davion Superales for Idaho as we are ready to go here on SWX. The Vandal marching band getting the crowd to their feet as we are set to go here. 50 years of football here in the Cathedral of College Football. Ilya Uvedov ready to kick it away. And again, Superales deep to return. There's the boot. We are underway. The Vandals will start with a touchback.
It's going to be very important today. The Vandals get off to a great start. Joshua Meadows, throws an interception on the first play of the game last week. And then the rest of the game looked like a completely different quarterback. Led his team up and down the field. Got inserted more in the run game in the second half. This is a young man who leads this offense. They believe in him. They protect him well. They trust him. And he really plays well.
Joshua Wood last week, like you mentioned, Coach, 20 of 25 for 281 yards, 3 touchdowns, the 1 interception. Also did a lot with his legs, 5 carries for 87 yards, including a 57-yard touchdown that would essentially put the game out of reach.
Well, and what sets up the quarterback run in the college game is the running backs. They have a committee of running backs they'll use today, just like last week. The more efficient they are handing off the running back, the more that quarterback zone read, where they're reading that backside defender, is going to open up. That guy at some point is going to have to make a choice today. Do I crash on the running back, or do I stick with what I'm told to do and tackle the quarterback?
First play from scrimmage coming up for Idaho. It is a handoff to Eli Cummings, who spins off a tackler, goes forward for 5 yards. Now, Cummings was productive early in the game last week, Coach, but then the Vandals just wanting to make sure he didn't get banged up too bad. We didn't see much of him in the second half, but the benefit is when you have Art Williams and you have Nate Thomas, who we'll talk about, you're able to keep those running backs fresh.
What a nice advantage to have as an offensive coordinator, knowing that when one guy gets banged up or one guy's a little tired, you've got 3 guys that can do it, come off the bench, and you don't miss a beat.
2nd and 5 for the Vandals. Woods spins away, throws out to the flat, but a tackle for a gain of just 1 yard after Cummings hauls it in. That was a nice play made in space by Utah Tech. Aiden Aguayo with the tackle.
Yeah, that time Utah Tech playing zone coverage, and Aiden Aguayo is just a flat player, meaning he's going to play about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. And that time, you know, really a nice call against man coverage, but a good job by Aguayo to stay home there and makes a really nice tackle.
So it's a 3rd down and 3 as Utah Tech's trying to force the Vandals into a 3 and out on their first possession. Joshua Wood drops back, pressure coming, steps up through the pocket, goes forward, right at the marker. Looks like he has just enough. Wood is able to move the chains, get a first down for his squad coach, and he had to take a lot of punishment to do it.
Yeah, that time they ran a mesh route. They ran 2 unders. It's a rub route. Everybody runs it. He doesn't like what he sees, and he just pulls it down. And you can see he knows where that yardage is and does a great job fighting for those extra inches.
Dalen Love laying a big hit on him as he got to that marker, just able to move the chains. Eli Cummings back on the field for the Vandals. Wood trying to escape pressure, throws it out and over the head of Ryan Jesiaro, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, last week we saw the Vandals take advantage of the flat route, the throw to the sideline so many times last week. Looks like obviously, you know, a lot of film study. I don't see Utah Tech giving that up this week. I think they're going to have Aguayo and their other corner in that flat to make sure there's no pitch and catch from this Vandal offense.
2nd and 10. Vandals on their own 35-yard line. Play clock down inside 5 seconds as Wood waits for the snap. Hands off, Cummings with nowhere to run. He's dropped after maybe a gain of 1. Their first for the Trailblazers, Otai Sagapalu on the tackle and the stop for maybe a gain of a couple inches.
Well, and this is a big front for Utah Tech, 6'2", 305, 6'1", 312, 6'2", 282, all upperclassmen. They play a 3-man front with 4 linebackers, and that gives them ability at times to do what they're doing now, walk a linebacker up and show a 4-man front. You can do a lot of different things in this 3-4 defense.
3rd and long. Wood gets away from a man, sets up, pump fake, keeps his feet alive. He's now across the line of scrimmage, fights for the first down. Joshua Wood with another 3rd down conversion gets the Vandals to midfield.
Well, we talked about his running last week. This time, he just makes something out of nothing. Kind of a prevent defense there as they get a good pass rush there by number 20, Dylan Havia, and he just makes something out of nothing here. Breaks the pocket, gets outside, a little pump fake to hold those DBs, and again, fights for that first down.
Methodical drive so far for the Vandals. No plays longer than that last carry by Wood. Here's a handoff. Eli Cummings looking for that explosive as he's up into the 2nd level. A first down carry inside the Trailblazer 40.
Nice job by number 51, Leon Evans. 52, Keegan Henson on that side of the line. Getting up, nice combo block to the linebacker. And the success last week of Joshua Woods running the football has opened up the middle with the running back early in this game. Again, you have to make a decision. You've got to make a choice. Really tough to stop both. And right now, Elijah Cummings kind of running at will inside those tackles.
Vandals stringing together a few good plays here. Play clock down to 5 seconds. Wood calling out some kind of adjustment on the line. Gets the snap off and will hand it off. Cummings this time, not as much room to run. He's dropped right at the line of scrimmage as a host of Utah Tech tacklers there first.
Well, the last 2 weeks, Utah Tech giving up over 400 yards on defense, giving up over 30 points a game. They've got to get those averages down if they want to compete the rest of the season. 163 yards given up last week on the ground. They've been exposed early in this season that they have trouble stopping the run, and I think that's why you're seeing so much of it early from the Idaho Vandals.
Redshirt senior Cody Carlson on the tackle there for Utah Tech. As the Vandals send a man in motion, here's Wood over the middle, squeezes it between a couple of defenders, and ball came out late, but believe he was down. Still waiting on the call here.
Well, I think this could be interesting. This might be something they're going to have to look at. They're marking him down, but it's tough to see when exactly that ball came out.
So they do say that his forward progress was stopped. That was Marquand McCraney on the reception, but now a stoppage as they might take a look at this.
Well, and this is an interesting review because they're calling forward progress for a reason. Not because a knee is down, not because an elbow's down. I think it's going to be tough to determine where forward
that ball
progress
might be
is.
out, Coach.
That ball is definitely out. Now it's going to be a judgment call from the booth of, was forward progress stopped? That's going to be a really tough call, I think, to overturn.
Yeah, I originally thought he was down, but you're right. That ball clearly out before Marquand McCraney hit the ground. But once again, always important what the call on the field was, and the call, according to referee Mike Besner, was that McCraney's forward progress was stopped. Now, if they are able to determine that his forward progress was still moving forward, and that ball is out with a clear recovery by Utah Tech, this would be Trailblazer football. And a quick remove of the headset. We already got the call coming up here from Besner.
Forward progress was ruled on the field. By rule, it ruled the Idaho's ball 3rd down.
Okay, so they did uphold it, and again, no question that ball was out, Coach, but they must have just thought that McCraney was essentially stopped and the play was whistled dead there.
And that's where it's tough. And when you hear these reviews, usually you hear words like confirmed, upheld, stands, and those are all different, obviously. Confirmed means we saw it on film. Stands or upheld usually means there wasn't enough video to change our opinion on what the refs saw on the field.
The positive for Utah Tech was the tackle did bring up 3rd down, so they've got Idaho and another 3rd down. They hand it off to Art Williams. He's forward for a couple yards, but he's short of the line to gain. So an interesting decision early in this ball game for head coach Thomas Ford Jr. and offensive coordinator Matt Linehan. This will be a 4th and a healthy 2 or 3 yards. You wanted to kick it from here to be about a 48-yard attempt. It looks like they're keeping the offense out.
And they're bringing in a second tight end, bringing in some sort of 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends.
Vandals have gone for it twice this season on 4th down. They've converted once. Joshua Wood all by himself in the backfield. With the play clock winding down, he takes the snap. 4th down opportunity. Wood rolls out, looking for a man. He's going to try and fire it for the sideline where it's hauled in. And that will be a 1st down. Ryan Gesiaro able to do the toe tap dance on the sideline.
Well, Joshua Wood so dangerous once he gets out of the pocket. Buys himself time right there. Great job of scanning the field. He looks inside out. You've been told as a quarterback since you started playing football, you don't want to throw late across the middle. He looks quickly there, and then he gets his outlet receiver to the sideline, who does a great job separating from number 18, Owigo, the cornerback. Gets his foot in for that 1st down.
Wood missed on his first pass attempt. Since then, though, he's hit his last 4. This is a play blown up in the backfield by the Trailblazers. Their first tackle for loss. Jace Sweeten stops that play before it got started.
I look for Idaho to start running some of their play action stuff. They're going to start running linebackers through gaps. You're going to see some fake runs getting Joshua Woods outside the pocket. Let him try to throw the football downfield.
Carry was for Art Williams. He's now off the field. Eli Cummings back on for the Vandals, who are chunking their way into scoring position. Play clock at 10. Wood quickly, some miscommunication here. He's lucky that wasn't picked off. Emerson Cortez Menjivar and Joshua Wood having a conversation. I think Coach Wood thought that Emerson was going to stop, and Cortez Menjivar looked like he was running a slant.
Yeah, Cortez Menjivar does run a slant. There was a gap that opened, and sometimes that quarterback is just going to expect you, and you see that in film study during the week. Hey, if that hole opens up, just sit. And just a little miscommunication. Cortez Menjivar, such a great game last week. I assume they're going to get on the same page soon here.
3rd down and long, out to Eli Cummings, looking to set up maybe a tunnel screen, but instead wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Utah Tech showing a lot of speed on this defense, and that'll send out the Vandal field goal unit.
Well, I think a safe play here. I think they just said, listen, we're going to get what we can, maybe improve the chances of this field goal. First drive of the game, take the 3 points and move on.
This is no chip shot. This is going to be a 43-yard attempt from Cameron Pope. 2 out of 3 this season. This would be the longest of this season, but not of his career. L.J. Harm, the punter, is the holder. Pope's boot is away. It's on the way, and it is no good. So Utah Tech with a stop and a chance to get on the board first when we come back. Early first quarter here, the 50th year of football in the Kibbie Dome. Time for today's Keys to the Game, presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Don't miss the ultimate sports experience at Northern Quest with Game Day Grub at Epic Sports Bar. Northern Quest, yes, the best. Coach, how do you see this one shaking out?
Yeah, today for Utah Tech, offensive efficiency, they have definitely struggled with that. Hold Idaho under 30 points. Nice job on the first drive. Got to be tougher against the run than they have been previous 2 weeks. For Idaho, insert Josh in that running game, win the line of scrimmage, and ignore Utah Tech's record. This is a team that's played two Big Sky teams that Idaho will face this year. They've played them tough.
Handoff up the middle to Asa Chapman, good for a couple yards. Now keep this in mind about this Trailblazer offense. They have used two quarterbacks quite a bit throughout this early start to the season. Right now it's the redshirt freshman Bronson Barbin to take the first snaps, but you'll also likely see a lot out of Reggie Graff, the redshirt junior. We'll keep you apprised of who's out there on the field. Again, this is Barbin to start the first drive for Utah Tech, who are trying to take advantage of a Vandal missed field goal. Gain was about 3. Barbin drops back, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. The Vandal pressure getting there. Zach Krotzer able to get to the quarterback just seconds after he let go of that ball.
Yeah, we talked about Zach Krotzer last week. The effort from that young man is every play, and he is a relentless football player. Whoever's across from him is always going to have a tough day.
It'll bring up third down as the Vandal crowd trying to get into it. Barbin calling out some audibles at the line. 5 seconds on the play clock in this 3rd down and 7. Throws for the sideline. It's incomplete. And the Vandal defense picking up the offense after the missed field goal. They'll force a 3-and-out and a punt.
At that time, a miscommunication on the throw. They brought the H-back or tight end back inside to help with protection. But that time, looking for a back shoulder, the receiver keeps going and just not on the same page early.
So that will bring on the punting unit. Ryan Marks to boot it away for the Trailblazers. Back deep to return for the Vandals. Here is the kick. It's a high spiraling kick where Tony Harstey chases it down, loses the football, dives back on top of it. Oh boy, that could have been disaster for the Vandals. Instead, they'll take over at their own 30 when we come back. Today's coverage of college football is brought to you in part by First Federal Bank. Earn an incredible 501 annual percentage yield with First Federal Bank's reward checking. Visit bankfirstfed.com/rewards to learn more. And by Fairfield by Marriott, your place in the Palouse in Moscow. Back here on the campus of the University of Idaho inside the Kibbie Dome, where they're celebrating 50 years of college football. Hosting Lance Anderson's Utah Tech squad. The Vandal offense back out there for a second time. Austin Getz, Adam Shackelford joining you on the broadcast. So, Coach, we saw a lot of yards, but no points last time out for the Vandals. What do you think they need to do on this drive here?
Well, they've had success running the football. They're averaging over 4 yards a carry. You don't get away from that. But I think you start testing some of these secondary guys. Although Utah Tech is giving up a lot of rushing yards this year, look for them maybe to start attacking the middle of the field in this zone coverage. Because they brought in extra tight ends, they forced Utah Tech to bring a linebacker down, which really kind of changes at times what Utah Tech can do in the secondary.
It was a gain of 4 for Art Williams on the first play of this drive. Vandals taking over after their defense came out and forced a Utah Tech 3-and-out. Another handoff as Williams stutter steps to the line and has a first down over the 40-yard line. So Art Williams to start this drive, coach. And again, we talk about the embarrassment of riches this Vandal running back room features. Williams, maybe not the most imposing figure out there, a little bit slight of a build, but boy, can he burst through that line.
Well, and you said it at the end, we're going to give the committee of running backs a lot of credit. But those two tight ends and that offensive line up front, getting some movement in the trenches today. And you could see at times Utah Tech bringing their safety like they are right now, down in the box, trying to get an extra number in the box against the run. Look for them to start pulling and throwing the football.
What a hit. Will Aloveo blew up Art Williams after a gain of just 1. Number 11 flying through there for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, he's made some big plays already today. He's that linebacker that they're bringing up on the line of scrimmage or bringing through the gaps in the run game. He's been moving him around. He's been very active today at that outside linebacker position as you see him lined up here at the near end.
So 2nd and 9 after the carry of just 1. Haven't seen Nate Thomas out there on the field. Keep that in mind. Another handoff. Williams this time with room to run up to about the 50 before he's dropped. This is going to bring up a 3rd and short. Vandals converted 2 third downs on their last drive, also converted on a 4th and short before getting behind the sticks. But they feel confident, coach, if they get into this short distance scenario, their playbook's wide open, and with how they run the football, you know, just not getting behind the sticks seems to be the key. Limiting
some penalties, which they weren't able to do at times last week, but they're built for these 3rd down and 4th down and shorts.
2 tight ends on the field for the Vandals. 3rd down and officially 3 with play clock under 3. Joshua Wood pulls it this time, just trying to race to the outside. He does, and he picks up the 1st down. Coach, we talked about last week how the Vandals set up the opportunity for Wood to pull it. Last week it resulted in a 59-yard touchdown. There, 3 or 4 is good enough to get the drive moving into Utah Tech territory.
Well, there's 2 things I like about this play. Number 1, it's well designed by Coach Ford and his staff. And number 2, when the play's on the line, you need a 1st down. You want a quarterback who wants to put the ball in his hands, the responsibility to move the chains in his hands. That's what captains do. That's what true leaders do.
2 running backs on the field, including Nate Thomas for the first time. Joshua Wood finds him. Thomas can't handle it. We'll see if this is ruled an incomplete pass. Looked like it was maybe a forward pass.
I think it was forward, which would make this
even if it was
incomplete, although they're marking it.
Yeah.
It looks like they're marking it out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
So I think the officials called that a lateral that went backwards and then out of bounds. The Vandals will keep the football, but they do lose a yard.
Well, and this is an RPO, what we call a run-pass option. They're going to flare the running back, and he's going to read. He's either going to give it to the running back or he's going to throw it. He also has the option to run it. And that time, a pretty good throw just to drop there. Kind of ran out of room on the sideline.
Boy, yeah, another yard or 2 of room on that sideline. That would have been Utah Tech football. So 2nd and 11. Wood drops back with time. Over the middle, Tony Harsty makes one man miss. He's got a 1st down to the 35-yard line.
Oh, good job by Harsty there running the slant. You know, last week when they needed plays, Tony Harsty seemed to be the guy. It was Emerson Cortez that was really consistent last week, but it seemed like when they needed a big play, that's the direction they went. And again, a nice play bailing them out after a 1st down loss.
Harsty last week catching his 1st career touchdowns on the season. Now he's over 100 yards receiving with his 8th reception right there. Nate Thomas still out there for the Vandals. Joshua Wood in a very clean pocket with all day, but sails this throw over the head of Emerson Cortez Menjivar. And that's an incomplete pass, 2nd down.
Menjivar doing a great job there of finding the hole in the zone. It's a deep curl route. He's going to sit. It's just an overthrow by Woods. 2nd and 10 here. No harm done. They're going to bring in some substitutions. They're going to take out some of their bigger tight ends, bring in more of a get downfield type receiving core.
Keep an eye on Ryan Jesiaro. He's actually off the field up top. That's Gabe Hoffman. And here's a handoff. Nate Thomas trying to get around the edge. Won't do it. Utah Tech, coach, they run very, very well sideline to sideline.
This is an active defense, and I thought maybe this is one of those times where Joshua Wood should have pulled that ball and kept it. Nobody taking the quarterback there. I think if he pulls it right there, boy, he might score. Those are the kind you want back. And there are also times where that running back, as a quarterback, you try to pull it, that running back just grabs it and goes. Those are mesh things, what we call mesh, that they're going to have to work out on the sidelines in between series.
Moon Ashby on the tackle that time. It's a gain of just 1. So a 3rd and long for the Vandals. And Utah Tech brings the pressure. Woods stands in there and delivers a strike to Emerson Cortez. Menjivar, who's got a first down. And on his feet, he's down inside the 15-yard line. Another 3rd down pickup by these Vandals.
Well, what do good receivers do? They do a couple things, especially in college football. They find the hole in the zone, and then once they catch it sure-handedly, yards after catch. And number 7 for Idaho is about as good as it gets.
We're through 1 quarter here at the Kibbie Dome. No score. Vandals in the red zone when we come back. Today's coverage of college football on SWX is brought to you in part by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Don't miss the ultimate sports experience at Northern Quest with Game Day Grub at Epic Sports Bar. Northern Quest, yes, the best. First play of the 2nd quarter here. Idaho Vandals trying to crack the scoreboard for the first time. Joshua Wood, good for another first down or just close to it. Maybe 2nd and 1 coming up. Coach Adam Shackelford and myself, Austin Getz, joining with you. Coach, we were just talking about that first quarter flew by, kind of snuck up on both of us, but this is an Idaho offense with the high completion rate and how much they keep it on the ground. They will chunk off an 8-minute drive if you let them.
Yeah, not only will they chunk off a good piece of time, right now averaging over 4 yards a carry, moving the ball at will. Good job there faking the jet sweep. And again, a read for Joshua Woods. He makes a great decision.
This drive started with 6 minutes left in the first quarter and now has rolled over to the 2nd quarter. Wood drops back, throws over the middle. It is incomplete, but a flag in the end zone, and they're going to get pass interference. This will put the ball on the on the Utah Tech 1-yard line, as they're going to get Justin Houston for interference here.
Yeah, I think some contact up by the shoulder, and I think you're also going to see by the arm closest to the official, probably a grab around the waist. Typically, that DB will try to get away with a hook on the waist to try to pull that receiver back in so he can get that front arm around. That's kind of what you see right there as you see the hook. It's a good call right in front of the official, a call that has to be made.
Here comes Rocco Koch, the bruiser quarterback, if you could say that. The redshirt freshman takes over in these goal line scenarios quite often for the Vandals. He's looking for a lane, bounces outside, trying to get to the end zone. He's short, does get positive yardage, but the Trailblazers able to keep him out. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, Daniel Thomason, a 6'3", 210-pound senior there with a great extra effort at the end to kind of clean it up right there. I think he may dive over with the ball in the end zone there because he's only got one guy around his shoestrings, and a nice effort there by Utah Tech at the end to keep him out.
Koch remains in the game, as does Hayden Kinchelow, who uses a lead blocker here, but movement before the snap, and this could back the Vandals up.
They're going to get one of the fullbacks here, lined up in the A-gap. Leaned a little bit, got forward movement, obviously can't have any of that before the snap. He's going to get called for the 5-yard infraction.
Mike Best.
False start. Offense, number 37. 5-yard penalty.
Idaho also does a really good job of substituting. They have a lot of personnel groups. Most of them are to get extra guys in the box, and what I mean by the box is to bring that defense in and force them to play the run. Coach Ford does a great job. Substitution is hard. We saw a lot of it last week out of St. Thomas as well. But this young coaching staff seems to have it down.
So Joshua Wood back out there at quarterback for the Vandals as they backed off the goal line a little bit. He'll drop back to pass. Fires, got his man, touchdown Idaho! Ryan Jesiaro with the score. No flags here. Vandals first on the board.
A nice under route by the tight end. And a really nice decision They run a route across the field to pull coverage, run the tight end, kind of on a follow route right behind him, and he just beats man coverage here. You see right there, kind of a rub route. Really nice job. I love the misdirection stuff at the goal line. And again, Joshua Woods making a fantastic decision with the football.
The redshirt freshman Jeziaro, with 6 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown last week against St. Thomas. Cracks in for his 2nd career touchdown here as the Vandals lead a 14-play, 70-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. And extra point willing could have them up 7-0. Cameron Pope on to boot the extra point through. It is good. Idaho on the board first, 7-0. We'll see how the Trailblazers respond. Joshua Wood to Ryan Jeziaro. 7-0 they lead after that man, Joshua Wood, connects with Ryan Jeziaro for a touchdown. Austin Getz, Adam Shackelford joining you. Coach, what did you see on that drive that led to the success? I mean, we saw a good mix of run and pass. We saw their first penalty. They've kept the penalties off the board. Just what did you see?
Well, exactly. You know, last week so many times we saw 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 17. They've stayed away from that, staying on schedule with the change. Utah Tech only running 3 plays in basically 17 minutes of this football game.
Is a line drive kick that's returned out to the 25. That is where Utah Tech will start their drive when we come back. 7-0, and Idaho lead. Trailblazers coming out on offense. Time for today's Impact Players, presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino, the Inland Northwest premier destination for gaming, dining, and entertainment. Coach, we already called one of these guys' name, Dallin Havaya's name, a lot when Utah Tech was on defense. We'll see what they can do on offense coming up here. And Nate Thomas, haven't seen a lot of him yet, but no coming back from injury. The Vandals are maybe just going to spell him a little bit. Only 5 carries last week, but got off the field healthy.
Yeah, and Dallin Havala, already 3 sacks on the season. Very active player for Utah Tech. They're going to need him today against this Idaho run.
This is only Utah Tech's 2nd drive of the game. Their only drive of the first quarter only gained 4 yards. They'll match that right here with a first down carry for Asa Chapman. Actually.
Yeah, nice run play, averaging 4 yards a carry. Trying to establish some identity here early in the game on offense.
That was actually Chris Street, my apologies. Utah Tech, we talked about how the Vandals really just use up all that clock. Only ran 3 offensive plays in that first quarter. Here's a handoff on the jet sweep, but oh, blown up in the backfield. Mitchell Jaskoyak erasing that play. It was actually Cruz Hepburn.
Yeah, Cruz Hepburn doing a great job from that Mike linebacker position. And we talked about it a little bit last week, Austin, about how well this Idaho defense runs sideline to sideline. Great angles, great pursuit by this defense led by Isaiah King.
Hepburn, the Lewiston Bengal product. 3rd and long as the Vandals try to match their first 3 and out with a second. Here's Bronson Barbin to pass. Backside pressure coming. He'll throw for the sideline. What a strike that was. And that will move the chains for Utah Tech for the first time today. That throw right on the money to Eric Olson.
Well, that time they got Olson matched up on Isaiah King. And what Isaiah King does well is he plays in the box. He's tough against the run. He's very athletic. What he's going to struggle with is when he's got to play man-to-man coverage against a receiver because of his height. He's going to struggle a little bit man-to-man, and there, just a nice throw by Utah Tech.
The first completion of the day as well after not able to connect on Barbin's first 2 attempts. He'll throw out to the flat this time. It'll go forward for a yard or 2 before Deuce Blenman's able to get the ball carrier down on the ground. That is Brenton Stone on his first touch today.
Well, this is an offense from Utah Tech that hasn't had a lot of problems scoring points this year. They've done a pretty good job with yardage per game. Their defense has struggled giving up big yards. Doesn't seem to be a lot of time of possession for this Utah Tech offenses. We see that today as well.
We talked about two quarterbacks. Here's Reggie Graff, the lefty, throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. But we talked about two quarterbacks. This is the redshirt junior on the season, 16 of 29, now 16 of 30, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He's a bit more of a runner with almost 100 yards on the ground, but it's not like when he comes in, Coach, it's a tell that they're going to be running the football with the quarterback.
Yeah, you're going to see either run or play action as they substitute quarterbacks here again on 3rd and long.
Yep, this is Barbin back in there. So the redshirt freshman back out on the field. Kind of easy to tell them apart when one's a righty and one's a lefty. Play clock under 10. Vandals bring the pressure. Barbin hit as he throws. Tipped and nearly intercepted. And absolutely despondent out there after not able to haul that one in is Caleb Ricks.
Well, Bronson Barbin took a shot, a clean shot. Good job by Idaho to lower that helmet and get a nice shoulder tackle on Barbin, but he took a shot as they bring pressure.
That was Hayden John from the safety position.
Yeah, nice job bringing pressure there on 3rd and long. Got to have a lot of confidence on 3rd and long to bring that kind of pressure. Got to have a lot of confidence in your secondary.
Ryan Marks on to punt again. Remember, the Vandals muffed their first punt. It did not result, though, in a turnover. Harsey able to haul this one in, but tackled immediately. Vandals taking over at their own 10-yard line with 10.5 minutes remaining here in the first half, up 7-0. By P1FCU. Are you looking for a free checking account? P1FCU's Ascend Checking is a free checking account that can earn you dividends. Open your account at P1FCU.org. Austin Getz and the coach, Adam Shackelford, joining you on the broadcast. There you get a look at the coach, Thomas Ford Jr. His Idaho Vandals up 7-0 as they start drive at their worst field position so far of the day on their own 10-yard line after the defense forces another punt. Joshua Wood, who's been excellent at quarterback so far in this game with a throwing touchdown his last time up, will hand this one off to Art Williams, who burst through a hole. He's over midfield trying to outrun the Trailblazers. And he will go out at the 20-yard line. A 70-yard rip there for Art Williams right down Main Street.
Good job by the interior of that offensive line. And if it wasn't for Dejon Harrison, we've got another Vandal touchdown here. Not a lot of breakaway speed. He's their guy. He's their ground and pound guy, but he finds a seam. Looks pretty good out there in open space.
And a quick handoff to Art Williams. It goes forward for a gain of 2. But Art Williams, boy, you talked about, I was just about to get into, Coach, depending on how that first play went, how the Trailblazer offense had only been able to net 21 yards so far. So maybe if their defense could get them some good field position. And before I could even finish that thought, boom, there went Art Williams.
Yeah, they've given up a lot of yards on the ground this year and still struggling with that today.
So the Vandals inside the red zone. And it's big Nate Thomas carrying this one right up the gut for a gain of a few more yards. But it will bring up a 3rd down. So if you're Utah Tech, you're trying to keep the Vandals out of the end zone and line up a field goal. They have missed one today as we tick down to 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, and I'm sure if you talk to Coach Ford and the coaching staff, the other thing they want to see today is they don't want to let Utah Tech hang around. Last week they let St. Thomas kind of hang around, and it became interesting at the end. I think they want a complete game out, not only this offense, but a full team, complete game where they put a team away and kind of leave no doubt.
Art Williams back out there on the field. That rush officially credited for 68 yards. Man in motion, Joshua Wood drops back. Pressure coming, steps up through the pocket, still alive, but finally chased down. Utah Tech with multiple defenders in that backfield. Alovaio there first, but a penalty.
I think we're going to have a holding call here on Idaho. It's going to back it up even more.
Holding, offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Utah Tech with a decision to make. Do you take it to 4th down there, or do you think they're going to back them up? No, they're good. It looks like they may give them the 4th down. They may say, hey.
Yep, they're going
to go ahead and kick the field goal.
They're going to send out Cameron Pope for a field goal try coming up. He missed from 43 yards. This one's shorter. This will be 38 yards. And Cameron Pope trying to make it a 2-score game.
Well, you could tell on the last one, he just kind of mishit it. It didn't have a lot of pop off his foot. We saw some strong kicks last week. This is definitely in his range.
Again, Xander Eccles, the long snapper, L.J. Harm, the holder. And Pope puts his right foot into this one. It's off the upright, no good. Cameron Pope 0 for 2 today, and Utah Tech will remain in a 1-score game with the ball when we're coming back. Over Utah Tech, Austin Getz, the coach Adam Shackelford joining you. And coach, special teams miscues, now 2 missed field goals that could have the Vandals up 13-0. Instead, has Utah Tech a touchdown away from potentially tying this game.
Well, and everybody's going to concentrate on the kick, but the reality of it is Idaho has not shown the ability on a couple drives to move the chains and get themselves, and then, you know, a holding call, things they did last week that kind of cost them and let St. Thomas hang around. Maybe we're seeing some of the same stuff here.
Here's Reggie Graff, who spins off a tackle attempt, and that's a carry for about 15 yards. Deuce Blendman hit him right at the line of scrimmage, but Graff kept the legs moving.
As they have an offensive lineman kind of gets up, number 79 there, gets up kind of ginger as maybe an ankle injury.
My apologies, that was actually Aaron Kinsey, not Deuce Blendman on the tackle attempt. But Reggie Graff, this is the first time we've seen him start a drive out there for Utah Tech. With a good pick up there. He'll run it again, going student body left, and this one's good for a couple of yards.
Well, he's definitely in there to run the football. As Barman now comes in on 2nd and long. With a nice 2 runs there. Really, their best progress they've had offensively in the game so far.
Absolutely. Coming into this drive, they had only 21 total yards of offense and are only a few yards away from matching that here on their 3rd offensive drive of the game. Here's Bronson Barbin back in at quarterback. And he'll fake the handoff, throw it out quickly to Olsen. He's got positive yardage here, but is dropped hard by Cruz Hepburn. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, it's a 2nd big catch for Olsen. Looks Eric Olsen, a 6'5", 230-pound junior. He's had a great year, a great start to the year so far. Seems to be Barbin's main target when he's looking for a play.
Trailblazers 1 of 3 on 3rd down so far in this game. As the clock winds down towards 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Remember, the Trailblazers will have it to start the 2nd half. This is Chris Street in the backfield. Play action, Barbin rolls out, finds Street, who juggles it a little bit, but is able to haul in the pass, and that'll be a 1st down for Utah Tech, their best drive of the day.
Yeah, Tanner, I think just got possession before he went out of bounds. Bobbles a little bit, like you said. That's pretty close. Not sure he had that ball completely secure as he gets out of bounds.
Utah Tech trying to get into Vandal territory for the first time today. Barbin on a quarterback draw, looking for a lane. He's wrapped up after a gain of about 1.
Getting a little chippy out there in the secondary. Guys just need to get back to focusing on football here, but Barbin, as you can see, definitely not the runner that their other quarterback is. Just trying to make something happen. His protection continues to break down as Idaho's defensive line really doing a great job of getting pressure today. When you can get pressure with just your front 4, and you don't have to worry about blitzing and doing that other stuff, what a great advantage for Idaho.
Barbin hands things off to Street. He's dropped after a gain of about 1, but it's towards midfield. Utah Tech goes. Matthias McLean on the tackle there for the Vandals, but here comes another 3rd and long, 3rd and medium situation as Vandals trying to get Utah Tech off the field.
Well, this is obviously important for Utah Tech, but I think equally important for Idaho to force a punt here, try to get this football back with 4 minutes left. And Utah Tech will get the football coming out of the halftime.
Barbin remains on the field at quarterback. Third down for the Trailblazers, and this is Utah Tech's actually going to be glad that this was whistled a false start as the snap went through the legs, but this will back them up.
That time the defensive line moving around, not even in stances. They're all standing up in a 4-point stance, or excuse me, a 2-point stance. They're kind of dancing around, and they're going to pick a gap. What that did is cause some movement early, and you're right. If that movement isn't early, this might be a turnover on a fumble.
So it'll back them up into a 3rd and longer. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Idaho with a chance to get the ball back. I'd say in fairly decent field position, but it has been a good day kicking the football for the Trailblazer punter, Ryan Marks. Obviously, the Trailblazers hoping they don't have to see him here. It's a 3rd and 12 as the Kibbe Dome rises to their feet. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Barbin over the middle's got his man, but it's well short of the first down marker right at the midfield stripe, and that'll bring out the punting unit for the Trailblazers. As aided by the penalty, the Vandal defense is able to deny them moving the chains.
Well, you're in the middle of the field at the 50-yard line, and it's tempting to go for it here, but I think with a 7-0 lead, Idaho's struggling a little bit on special teams. I think utilize your punter, pin them deep. Last time, just a beautiful kick all the way down to about the 7-yard line. They could use another one of those right now.
Yeah, Mark's averaging over 40 yards per boot. They'll put it into this one. It's a spiraling kick towards the sideline. This time Tony Harsty does call for the fair catch and will haul it in at the 9-yard line. College football on SWX is brought to you in part by Findlay Downtown Toyota on 3rd Street. If you're looking to score the best deals on your favorite Toyotas, come to Findlay. All right, Coach, 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Vandals have all 3 of their timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. So plenty of time. You have the wide open playbook. Obviously, we've seen you be able to get the big chunk run there from Art Williams. Anything you specifically want to see them do here in this first few plays?
Well, I think you get Joshua Woods maybe involved in the run game. Biggest thing is you understand you have 3 minutes left. You've got your timeouts. You want to try to go down and score, and you don't want to score a field goal here. You want to score a touchdown. But you want to do it with the clock, you know, under a minute here, so that puts pressure on Utah Tech. Maybe not able to score again for the half because they do have the ball coming out.
Handoff, Art Williams looking for another big run to open a drive. He's got it all the way out to the Vandal 25, excuse me, the Utah Tech 25, but a great play for the Vandals.
Well, that's going to put him over, Art Williams over 100 yards today as he had 92 before that run.
And a quick handoff again to Williams. This one burst forward for about 5 yards. Vandals using a little tempo there, trying to keep Utah Tech on their heels. Actually, more of a gain of about 7, but we have an injured player down on the field that will call for an official timeout.
Well, you know, the other advantage is we hope this young man is okay. The other advantage to running back by committee is you don't only get to utilize all those guys, but sometimes you find the hot hand and you go with it.
That's a team captain, Justin Houston, who's able to get back on his feet and head towards the sideline. And a timeout still here on the field as they'll emerge from their respective huddles. 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Vandals will have it in a 2nd and short coming up at about the 37-yard line. You see Justin Houston just kind of crunched a little bit as he got the tackle there of Art Williams, but thankfully seems to be okay as he's getting checked out on the sideline. One of the big back-end players on this Utah Tech defense. They really would like to see him back out there quickly. Meanwhile, it's a 2nd and short, and it's Nate Thomas now in the backfield with Joshua Wood. And they go right to him. Thomas has enough for a first down all the way up to close to the 40-yard line.
Well, this is ideal for Idaho right now. Move the chains, move the clock.
And I imagine they're just going to let this one wind down to the 2-minute timeout. That'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. A 7-0 lead for the Idaho Vandals with a chance to add to it before the break. Don't go anywhere. We got more college football coming up here on SWX. Other side of the 2-minute timeout here at the Kibbe Dome. Idaho Vandals with the ball, moving towards midfield, up 7-0, trying to score before the end of the first half. Austin Getz, Coach Adam Shackelford joining you. Coach, want to see the Vandals get on the board here, of course, but got to remember, Utah Tech does also have their 3 timeouts, so it's that delicate dance of you want points any way you can get them, but maybe not trying to score too fast. Joshua Wood jukes a man out of his shoes, still on his feet as he goes for the sideline. That's the most exciting 9-yard run you're likely to see all season.
Just showing his, not only potential, but his athletic ability. Throws the ball well as well. There are some intangibles that I think when he's done playing football at the college level, that maybe some of these pro scouts will start looking at. A lot of teams nowadays going to this style quarterback. And
credit to right guard Leon Evans as well, trying to keep the blocks alive down the field. So now the clock ticks down towards 90 seconds. The Vandals right at midfield. Be quick, but don't hurry, they say. Also want to mention that Justin Houston, who was banged up, is back out there on the field. Tony Harsty with a catch of 12 yards, gets them in to Utah Tech territory.
Oh, nice job. The first down will stop the clock. They're not in a hurry, but they're not taking their time either. This is a situation where they can quick huddle. You're going to get the ball down inside the 10 with about 22 seconds left to give you 3 legitimate plays with at least one of your timeouts to try to score a touchdown.
Clock will wind down towards 1 minute by the time this ball is snapped. Wood, handoff. Art Williams trying to look for a lane. Forward for about 5 yards, and we'll see if Thomas Ford Jr. calls his first timeout. He will. So that'll stop the clock with 53 seconds remaining. Vandals moving methodically here, as it's been a well put together drive. Still not quite in that field goal range, though. Remember, Cameron Pope has missed both times he's attempted field goals of 43 and 38 yards.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the organization of this young staff. I know that, Coach Ford, a young head coach, getting his opportunity, making the best of it. These are things you practice during the week. Every Thursday you do a 1-minute period where you practice. He's got defense and offense. Defense has different responsibilities, obviously. Trying to keep you out of the end zone, force a field goal attempt. Offense, it's about tempo. It's about using your timeouts at the right time. It's about getting down to where you need to be to strike before the end of the half. These are things that are practiced. And this is a coaching staff that is all on the same page and really doing the right things with time management. And you don't see that a lot these days in college football. A lot of mistakes made. I'm very impressed so far this season with Idaho.
College football on SWX is sponsored in part by Pella Windows, your local windows and doors experts to make your life brighter. Out of the timeouts, Vandals have 2 remaining and facing a second down here at the 34-yard line. Wood to pass. The protection holds up, fires for the sidelines, got his man. It's Jesiaro who has the touchdown, and he's down to about the 20-yard line. Another move of the chains as Joshua Wood is in some kind of rhythm.
Well, it'll also stop the clock there again as they go a little more hurry up with 44 seconds left.
Yeah, quickly back to the line of scrimmage. And a snap before things really get set. Nate Thomas looking for the corner. Up to the second level. Nate Thomas down inside the 10-yard line.
And again, we'll stop the clock.
And a timeout taken here. I believe it was by the Vandals. So that is their second charge timeout. 33 seconds remaining.
This is just textbook 1-minute offense. Getting it down inside the 10, under 40 seconds. Just really a great job, not only by this coaching staff again, I can't talk about it enough, but Joshua Woods leading his troops. Play calling's been excellent on this drive. They have a plan and they're executing it. They know that Utah Tech struggles stopping the run. You don't have to abandon the run in the 1 minute. You don't have to air it out. You've got to be smart, especially when you don't make mistakes early in the half and you can keep your timeouts for situations like this. Just an excellent job by the Vandals.
Vandals have rushed for close to 200 yards in this first half, and they're averaging 7.5 yards per carry. It is a goal-to-go situation from the 7-yard line, so no more stoppages of the clock from the first down. Wood stands in the pocket, fires. Wow, what a play by Houston in coverage. He was looking for Art Williams, but Justin Houston denied it.
Yeah, that's a nice play there. I think was that one, Dejon Harrison?
It was Justin Houston.
Okay, Justin Houston with a nice play. I'll tell you, they've got some DBs and some safeties that are just long. You know, tall, long arms. Here he ran a smash route. He faked the under, smashed back out of it. It's a play you used to watch Danny Amendola and those guys run with the Patriots all the time. Wes Welker, great job by the defense to get a piece of that ball.
30 seconds remaining. Wood fires over the middle, just a bit high of his man. He was looking for the slant over the middle, just not quite on target for Nolan McWilliams.
A little bit of contact there, but really pretty good defense. I think might have been rewarded with a flag if that ball was a little more catchable. I think it's a good call by the official. As you can see, the Utah Tech coach is now trying to gain an advantage in this 1-minute situation, forcing a 3rd and goal from the 7.5-yard line.
Again, a field goal, not a sure thing in this one. It would be the shortest of the day attempted by Idaho, but they have had troubles in the kicking game so far. A 3rd and goal. Wood rolls to the right, looking for his man, fires for the end zone, and it is incomplete. And that will send on the Vandal kick team. We'll see if Cameron Pope can connect on this one. A 25-yard attempt. He's missed from 43 and 38.
Well, these missed opportunities to score touchdowns. It hurt him last week.
Sorry, Coach, I actually have to say this is Owen Forsman.
Yep, we got a left-footed kicker here.
Yeah, the Owen Forsman from Lakeland High School in Rathdrum to try and attempt this short boot. That one is on the way, and that one is good. So it is a 2-possession lead for Idaho, 10-0 with 17 seconds remaining. They did use almost all of the clock, but again, these are now 3 drives. Vandals could be up 28-0 here, could even be up 16-0 if not for the missed field goals.
Yeah, getting back to my point as we saw the kicker change. They got away with it last week with St. Thomas. You know, maybe they get away with it this week with Utah Tech not finishing drives. But as you get into your Big Sky Conference play, you start playing the Montana States, the Montanas, the UC Davis, you're not going to get away with this. This is something that needs to be fixed, and I'm sure Coach Ford and his staff will address it.
So it is a 2-possession lead for the moment. Utah Tech, got to think, unless this is a boot through the back of the end zone, they might take a chance to run this one out.
I would look for them unless it's just a really good return.
Jakeo Mitchell back there, as is Bretton Stone. Deep boot, way deep into the end zone, and they will kneel it down right there. So it'll be the 25-yard line. Again, the Trailblazers do have their timeouts if they want to see if they can get a chunk play real quick and maybe get a chance for a long field goal here at the end of the first half. We'll see what happens here, as it looks like they are sending out Reggie Graff, the quarterback we've seen sparingly so far today. They're not lined up like they're going to take a knee, so we'll see what happens and how it affects the decision making.
I would expect maybe just a quarterback run here to the left.
Graff instead looking for a draw up the middle. Look at the speed on Reggie Graff all the way up to the 50. And a timeout taken quickly by Lance Anderson with 10 seconds remaining. And that very much changes things.
Wow, that's so upsetting for a defensive coordinator, because you expect your players to understand personnel. You know, who do they have at quarterback? What does he do well? Things you talk about all week. Hey, if number 5's in the game, it's alert run. If Reggie Graff is in the game, especially with 17 seconds left and a half, He's probably going to run a draw, or he's probably going to run a quarterback sweep. He's not going to throw the football down the field. If they are going to throw the football down the field, Bronson Barbin is going to be in the football game. And I know that's frustrating for coaches. A learning process for these players for Idaho.
Yeah, Court Dennison, the defensive coordinator, has the defense huddled up on the sideline. And let's just say, Coach, that the words I was reading off of the DC's lips there as his team was coming over to him were not FCC appropriate.
Well, that's why I always put a paper over my face.
Correct. So 10 seconds, Utah Tech has 2 timeouts remaining. And we'll see what they do here. It's Graff remains in the game. He'll drop back, looking to set up a screen over the middle, and with plenty of room to run goes Utah Tech, and sliding down. Very smart play there by Asa Chapman, because it will allow a chance to take a field goal with 2 seconds left. If he runs that, Coach, and doesn't get down, time would expire here.
Boy, you want to talk about clock management at the end of the game, end of the half. We bragged on the Vandal staff. We have to give credit to this Utah Tech staff. Yes, they're down 10 points, but this field goal, if he can knock this down, will completely change the momentum of this football game.
This is not a short boot. This is a 55-yard attempt. It would be a career long for Ilya Uvedov. Snap is down. Kick is on the way, and it is waiting for the signal. Still waiting. No good.
Boy, I thought he made that.
I kind of did too. It looked like it had the distance. And this is going to be tough. I don't believe that they're going to have an angle to review this just based on the geography of the Kibbe Dome. That's the end of the field that does not have the cameras behind the uprights. Here you'll get another look.
See if you see yellow when the ball drops. That ball's good.
He made that kick.
They're going to review it, and they're going to get it.
Yeah, he 100% made that kick. Vandals were running off the field thinking the half was over. They're pulling everybody back to their sidelines now.
I think the Vandals were running off the field knowing he made that kick.
Here we got another angle. Ilya Uvedov certainly thinks he made it. This would be a good look. Like Coach said, look for the yellow as it crosses. It's definitely straight enough. That's a good field goal.
Made it by, I don't know what they're looking at. He made that by a yard and a half.
Yeah, that was a very, very good kick that should result in 3 points. Head coach Lance Anderson obviously pretty confident, a smile on his face. Got to think that this one will be overturned once they look at it.
Frustrating. Sometimes all you can do is laugh.
Frustrating end of the half by the Idaho Vandals.
After almost 30 years of coaching, I've been frustrated enough where there's sometimes the only thing you can do is smile. You're that frustrated. You got 2 guys down there looking right at it.
Talk about the Vandals. You go down there, you make it a 2-possession lead with 17 seconds, and you let them get off 2 chunk plays and a 55-yard attempt. That was good. Here is referee Mike Besner as coming out to make the announcement.
After review, the field goal did go over the crossbar, so it was good.
Yep, they just announced that it is a successful field goal. And that will be the end of the first half. So it is a 10-3 lead for the Idaho Vandals as Utah Tech able to get on the board in the closing seconds of the first half. We'll take a break and come back. Your halftime coverage coming up here on SWX. Through one half, they're doing their same against their 3rd straight ranked Big Sky opponent. Austin Getz, Coach Adam Shackelford joining you on the broadcast. Coach, we got about a half a minute before we get the second half started. Utah Tech will have the ball. You think that last drive of that first half, where they picked up yards on quarterback draw and a screen play maybe unlocked something for this offense?
Well, I think momentum switched a little bit. I think the energy, you can kind of see on the sideline, the energy has turned into some confidence here. I think it's going to be really important for the Vandals to try to squash that early by getting an early stop and force a punt on this first drive.
Yeah, if you remember, the Vandal defense really dominated. To give them credit, they have not given up a touchdown in this game. And with multiple 3-and-outs and really never letting Utah Tech even threaten the red zone, they were doing very well, but all of a sudden, kicking off with 17 seconds left, you think you're going into the locker room up 10-0. 2 big plays and a 55-yard career-long field goal. All of a sudden, it's back to a 7-point game. Here we go in the second half. It will be Trailblazer ball to start. As a run-up and a boot there by Owen Forsman to the back of the end zone, but taking this one out is Bretton Stone looking for room. He'll be dropped at the 15-yard line. The Vandal kick coverage unit flying down the field. So Utah Tech, despite having maybe that momentum at the end of the first half, will have to start with poor field position, Coach.
Yeah, I think if the coach is looking down there to see if anybody says anything to the return guy, I assume they probably that deep in the end zone wanted to take a knee and get the ball at the 20. But again, what can the Vandals do here on defense to kind of squash this momentum?
It's Bronson Barbin back out there. Remember, it was Reggie Graff who led that 2-play drive that ended with the long field goal attempt. He'll pull it out, throw it out for the flat. He's got his man Olsen who picks up a block, and he's got a first down. Here come the Trailblazers.
But Olsen's been their guy. Not a lot of production on offense today, but he's been the guy with 3 big catches. Nice play action, just a nice RPO there. Get it out to him right now, let him run.
Bronson Barbin was just 5 of 8 for 30 yards in the first half. Reggie Graff back out there now. Again, these Trailblazers rotate their quarterbacks often. And he's got 3 running backs with him in the backfield as well. Option look, he'll hand it off up the middle. Short carry for a couple of yards before being dropped. That was Kona Crowell on the carry.
As they rotate Barbin back in the game here. It's second and it looks like about 7.
All the scoring in this game coming in the second quarter. Vandals scored early in the second quarter, a touchdown, added a field goal in the final minute before Utah Tech responded with a field goal. Here's Bronson Barbin. And he'll hand things off. Nowhere to run, and Zach Krotzer swallows it up. But fighting forward still for a couple of positive yards was Bretton Stone. Able to make this now a 3rd and short.
Well, you can really concentrate on the running back. You've got to peek at Barbin because he is athletic enough to take the ball and run around the end. But there you see them just kind of peek, and they can really concentrate on squeezing that running back.
Vandals held Utah Tech to just 2 of 5 on 3rd downs in the first half. They're asking their crowd to get behind them here as it's Barbin remaining on the field. Man in motion, Barbin pulls it, throws, got his man, diving over the first down marker and moving the chains is Chris Street.
Every time this Utah Tech offense moves the chains, you could see the mood change in both sidelines. A little more pep in their step as they substitute in and out here. The coaches high five the guys coming in and out. Trying to get this offense moving, knowing that this drive in particular could get them right back where they want to be.
Asa Chapman in the backfield with Bronson Barbin. Pulls it, throws for the sideline, and what a play covering that up. Deuce Blenman fought off his block and was able to get the man down for a gain of maybe half a yard. That's not a play that's going to end up on many highlight tapes, Coach, but Deuce Blenman prevented that from being, even if it only gained 5 or so yards, he made that.
Well, it's what you want to see out of your corner, especially when they're up in press man, is physicality. He runs through, gets off the block, and then a sure tackle with some help at the end for cleanup.
Crowd getting into it now is 2nd and 9. Barbin, play action, throws over the middle. This one is caught. And Olsen able to hold on. That's another first down, and the Trailblazers are into Vandal territory.
Well, Olsen's becoming a problem. He really runs great routes, sure-handed here. No doubt that a guy that Barbin's looking for.
His fourth catch today. Barbin this time pulls it on the option, chased down by Dylan Lane, but it is a gain of 3 yards.
Well, even if you don't have a lot of success, 3 yards is okay. But you pull it once, and now they've got to follow it. Now they've got to recognize, okay, he's willing to pull the ball around the end, and at times that will free up that running back inside.
Longest drive considering time on the clock that Utah Tech has taken in this game, almost 4 minutes now. Barbin goes under center. Haven't seen a lot of this from Utah Tech today. 5 on the play clock. Turns, hands it off. Chris Street looking for a lane, and Chris Street keeps the legs moving. He'll have the first down.
Yeah, they're gonna move the chains again, and you're right, Austin, an under center I formation. Going back to the 90s here a little bit, playing some power football, saying, hey, we can run the football too. We can move the football as they move the chains again and again. A little more energy.
Absolutely, the momentum is on Utah Tech's side, at least for the time being. Handoff, Street, strung out to the sideline, hit right at the line of scrimmage, and eventually dropped. Blenman again coming up and tackling from his corner position. It goes for a gain of 1.
That's an interesting spot. It looked like he may have, I couldn't tell if his foot was out of bounds, but he kind of dove forward for another yard there.
That'll bring up 2nd and 9. And after hitting from 55, I would say they are in Uvedov's range. Barbin all by himself in the backfield. Vandals rush 3. He fires over the middle. Dylan Lane with great instincts breaks it up.
Well, and when you're in a close game, Austin, how important is your kicking situation? Number one, you know you've got a punter who can boom it, play the field position game, and you've got a kicker in a close game who's proven he can hit outside of 50. I would say advantage Utah Tech right now in special teams.
Again, the Vandals have left at least 6 points on the board just on missed field goals. No turnovers in this game yet. Vandals would love one here. Barbin, as they send pressure, fires over the middle. Low throw is incomplete. He was looking for Olsen.
Well, typically a ball that Olsen would catch was a little bit low, but I'm sure he wants that one back. As Barbin's number 1 target there, can't come up with the play.
They'll send on Uvedov. He was good from 55 at the end of the half. This from 52. Ryan Marks, the holder. Snap down, kick on the way. It has the distance, and this one is good. Over 100 yards of field goals. Idaho able to maintain the lead, but Utah Tech scoring on their last 2 drives thanks to the big right leg of number 27.
Yeah, really no doubt on that one. Very similar to the last kick. He was just a little bit closer, and boy, that ball pops off his foot. A little bit of confidence. You see Coach Anderson there. This team is gaining some confidence as they play on in the second half.
10-6, Vandals getting the ball for the first time in the second half when we come back here on SWX. College football on SWX is presented in part by your local McDonald's restaurants, proud sponsors of the McDonald's Team of the Week, featured every Friday night at 11:15 on Nonstop Local KHQ during SWX Overtime. Field goals on back-to-back drives for Utah Tech has them down 10-6, kicking away to the Idaho Vandals here at the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. Austin Getz and Adam Shackelford joining you. Coach, obviously Vandals are in the lead and defense has done its job so far, but it almost feels like this is a drive you need points to kind of get things back in your favor.
Yeah, it's been a little stagnant since the second quarter. Relying on the field goal kickers to come through, and haven't been able to do that today outside of a short chip shot, and we've got ourselves a ball game here.
We do. Things in the Vandals' favor. The offense has been outstanding in terms of moving the football, but really have not been able to capitalize on points. Idaho's ran for 197 yards. They've thrown for just 76, but haven't really need to throw the football. So we'll see how they come out here, their first drive of the second half. Again, they could have had as many as 28 points on the board. They really should have had at least 16. Instead, now leading just by 4 here with 9.5 minutes to go as they take over for their first drive of the third quarter. It'll be Art Williams, who's already over 100 yards rushing, to start out the drive with Joshua Wood in the backfield. And it's a handoff to Williams, who's just bursting through the middle of that Utah Tech line seemingly every time he touches the football. A gain of 9.
Well, Idaho's coaching staff scheme is not flawed. That's not why they're not scoring points. There seems to be breakdowns. Football is a great game. Everybody's got to do their job. All 11 have to do their job or it doesn't work. And just seems to be a guy here and a guy there. And I think going back to this power run is very wise by Coach Ford. This is what got them here, and this is what they need to establish again with 8:50 left in the third quarter.
It's already a career day for Williams, who gets the ball back here. Maybe fights forward for a yard. It'll bring up third down. His previous career high in rushing was 96 yards last year against Cal Poly. Already over the 100-yard mark. And we'll see if they go right back to him on a 3rd and 1 coming up here on the Vandal half of the field. Williams going to the sideline, and it looks like Hayden Kinchelow is coming back in.
Well, they bring in those 2 big fullbacks they use as well. We saw this formation earlier in the game as they split those guys out at tight end. Well, they're really packing the guys inside, forcing Utah Tech to shift into a new formation.
Vandals hand things off. Kinchelow met at the line of scrimmage and just wins the battle. Boy, he was maybe met actually a yard in the backfield, Coach, but hard to stop number 37 if he gets any momentum at all.
Well, and he drives a 305-pound defensive lineman back for the first down. That's not a small man in the backfield. Couldn't make the play, came in a little bit high. But the leg drive, the effort and tenacity gets the first down, gets things accomplished, and moves the chains.
That was impressive. So Art Williams back on the field. Vandals have ran it all 3 plays on this drive so far. 7.5 minutes to go. Wood now rolls out to his left. He's looking for a man downfield. Sets up, fires back across the middle. He's got Emerson Cortez Menjivar. A flag down behind the defensive backs. We'll see what the call is here, as Cortez Menjivar maybe a little bit slow to get up, heads to the sideline. We'll see what this call is. This could be very consequential. Here's Mike Besner.
Well, I thought it might have been illegal contact downfield, but it looks like it might be some kind of sideline warning maybe. I think they're going to call contact downfield here.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block on the defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play.
Wow, that is a
automatic first down.
Big penalty right there. Don't often hear illegal blindside block on the defense. See if we can pick it up, what happened downfield. Hard to see from there. The flag came in right about the time Joshua Wood let go of that football. Meanwhile, it's a pickup regardless of the penalty with Emerson Cortez Menjivar. We had heard that he was maybe a little bit banged up, so good to see number 7 out there contributing after having such a great week. After the penalty, this ball's inside the Utah Tech 35. Joshua Wood steps up in a collapsing pocket, lets go of it, tipped up in the air and incomplete. He was looking for Tony Harsty.
Usually Harsty very sure-handed that time. Knows he needs to catch that football, move the chains again, and get them into the red zone.
Wood also took a hit here as he was running forward right as he let go of that ball. And this is very fortunate that that was not intercepted by Justin Houston, who was in pursuit. 2nd and 10, ball's on the 34-yard line. And Nate Thomas, our impact player, back out there for the Vandals in the backfield. In fact, they will not give it off to him. Joshua Wood pulls it, and Moon Ashby with a good job staying home, forcing Wood to dive for that sideline for a gain of just a couple yards.
Well, this is one of those games where, you know, Joshua Woods is not playing poorly. He's not really involved right now in what's going on a whole lot, not getting a lot of opportunities to make plays. I would look for them to maybe move him out of the pocket a little bit more. We saw some nice scrambling ability, spreading them out a little bit in the first quarter on that first drive. Kind of let him do his thing as a dual threat quarterback.
Big 3rd down here as the Vandals kicking from this area of the field has not been great. Empty backfield for Wood. Steps up, throws, going downfield. It is not hauled in. What a play, breaking that one up down the field by Devin Perkins. He nearly had Williams, but Perkins was able to jar the ball out.
And I think they're going to go for it here on 4th and 7.
It would be a 51-yard attempt from here. That would be the longest field goal that they've tried today. And here comes the kicking unit, looking to see who it is. It is Owen Forsman. Owen Forsman, who was successful after Cameron Pope missed 2 field goals, comes out here. This would be the longest field goal of Forsman's career. He is their kickoff man, so he does have a big leg. Vandals got to get this snap off. It's down to 2 seconds. They do. Successful snap, successful hold. Kick on the way. Had plenty of leg, and that one is good. Wow. Owen Forsman from Rathdrum, Idaho. Kicked that one from Rathdrum, Idaho, and it would have been good. 13-6, corresponding field goals to open the second half. Today's presentation of college football on SWX is brought to you in part by Granite Concepts. Get your dream kitchen, bathroom, or outdoor barbecue started at Granite Concepts GraniteConceptsNW.com. Granite Concepts, beauty set in stone. And by Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston. Play, stay, get away. Coming into this game, Owen Forsman had never officially attempted a field goal in-game for the Idaho Vandals. He's 2 for 2 today, 1 of 24 yards, and then 1 just before the break, officially of 49 yards. And it might have been good from 59. It gives the Idaho Vandals a 13-6 lead with 6 minutes remaining here. So able to get those points back on the board and push it out to a 7-point advantage. Forsman now out to do his typical role, which is the kickoff duty. Sends this one to the end zone stripe, and here comes Bretton Stone with room to run. Bretton Stone out to the 31-yard line, but a late flag coming in. We'll see if this helps or hurts Utah Tech.
Well, maybe we just saw why they give Bretton Stone the green light to return whatever he wants. Showing some speed, getting back to that wall there, and then a burst right there.
During the return, holding on the return team.
Yeah, we get a
10-yard penalty. First down, Utah Tech.
Behind the return man, which is always tough to see.
So that'll wipe out some of that return yardage. And now you have Utah Tech coming back out there with Reggie Graff at quarterback. Last time, yeah, we saw Bronson Barbin for most of that last drive for the Trailblazers. But here comes Graff. Officially on the day, he's thrown just 2 passes, completed 1 of them. He's ran, though, 3 times for 39 yards. He'll have Chapman with him in the backfield. And he'll pull it on the option look with nowhere to run. Matthias McLean and Dylan Lane get him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, a young mistake here. He pulls it, but he should have given this football. You see a big hole open up right there for that running back. You cannot predetermine that mesh. It is a read. You must read it right. Or the defense will make you wrong very quickly.
He remains in the game as they're backed up behind the sticks. They officially rule it a loss of 3 as we're under 5.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Graff sends a man in motion. Now drops back, pump fakes, looks, fires down the sideline. Oh, in and out of the hands with a diving effort by Rillos.
Oh, a nice throw there, right on the money. Puts it on him on the run. Been a tough catch, but
wow.
My goodness. Close to a huge play for Utah Tech.
You had Hayden John in coverage, but give credit to Graff as he put it right on Josh Rillos' hands. Third down, and now Bronson Barbin comes back in. A third down and long in the shadow of your own end zone. Barbin drops back, finds his man, and this is hauled in back at around the original line of scrimmage. But if the Vandal defense ever needed to come up with a 3-and-out, coach, they answered the call right there.
Yeah, that time only rushing 3 guys and still got a hit on the quarterback. You can get home with 3 guys. You can drop a lot of guys into coverage, and there becomes really no place to throw the football downfield.
That'll bring out Ryan Marks, averaging over 41 yards per punt in this game. They're going to want him to flip the field here. Tony Harsty back to return. It's been an adventure for Tony. Muffed one kick, took a hit right as he caught another one. This is a low line drive away from the defense, and Tony's going to have a chance to return it. Harsty up over the 50-yard line and down to the 45 of Utah Tech. The Vandals have great field position as they try to seize control of this game. We'll take a break and come back. Just over 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter in Moscow. The Utah Tech 45. Austin Getz, Coach Adam Shackelford joining you. Coach, we got Nate Thomas in the game here. We haven't called his name a lot tonight. Remember, he did only have just 5 carries last week, but I wonder if the Vandals try to get him going on this drive. Play action. Looks like Wood wants a shot to the end zone, takes a shot himself, and contact in the end zone, no flag.
That ball's not catchable. That hit at the top of the letters there. That ball's thrown a little shorter, they probably get the call. I know the fans here don't like to hear it, but contact or not, I don't think he gets anywhere within 5 yards of that football.
Looked very similar to the first play of the fourth quarter last week. You remember coming out of a timeout, the Vandals went for the end zone where Ryan Jesiaro, who was the intended receiver on that last play, hauled in a touchdown. So maybe a good idea, take a shot, but now all of a sudden you're looking at 2nd and 10. And they will pull the handoff and go to Jesiaro out for a little run pass option. Gain of about 2, 3 maybe, but now all of a sudden it's the Vandals in a 3rd and long.
Well, and it's nice to have a quarterback that can run this stuff, run the RPOs, be a running threat. Stable of running backs that can be a threat. But you can't get in long yards. You can't be in 2nd and 10. You've got to be in 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. What I call striking distance at all times of moving the chains.
3rd and 8 as we're under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Wood over the middle, high, and missed his target. He would have had him for a first down. Instead, it's incomplete, and Idaho will likely have to punt this ball away.
A little high, but I think catchable. This is a ball that probably needs to be caught.
Jake Cox not able to haul it in, so here comes LJ Harm in the Vandal punting unit. This is the first time we will see LJ today.
A little bit of a lull here in Idaho's play. And well, this is about the time last week where we saw St. Thomas make a little bit of a comeback. You wonder if Utah Tech can maybe take advantage of some of this.
LJ Harm is a specialist at putting teams inside the 20-yard line. Here's an angling kick, a fair catch called for at the 11-yard line. That is where Utah Tech will start this next drive.
Punting has changed so much over the years. Now these guys are able to pin these guys inside the 10 and force them to fair catch, and they turn the ball over better. They have different styles. The rugby kick is now part of the game, and so many ways to stop that football once it hits this turf. utilized very well by Idaho.
Give you an example of how good LJ Harm has been at that exact role. That was his 8th punt of the season, and 7 of them have been inside the 20. Here's a handoff to Chapman. Met right around the line of scrimmage. Cruz Hepburn having a good day. Gets to him there.
Well, it's easy to look at this game and say Utah Tech hasn't done much, but the reality of it is there one play and a PAT tying this football game. Idaho's got to get off the field, get Joshua Woods back on the field, and try to extend this lead.
Gain of 1. 2nd down coming up. It is Bronson Barbin in the game. He'll hand it off to Chapman, who tries to string it out, but there's Isaiah King. Boy, you were wondering when we'd finally say his name. By far the biggest difference maker on this Vandal defense. Really had a quiet game by his standards, not just by any standards, but there he comes up with a tackle for loss to force another 3rd and 10.
Yeah, nice rangy player, just very athletic. The redshirt senior, I think, is going to get some nice looks maybe at the next level because of his athletic ability.
Just his 3rd tackle today. It was a big one. 3rd and 10, right around the same spot in the field the last time Utah Tech was on offense. Barbin looking for a man, goes up the sideline. This one is caught! A diving catch, and that will be a huge gain for the Trailblazers. That was Daniel Thomason.
That time they bring Isaiah King on the blitz and picked up very well by the running back. Allows the one-on-one coverage to win on the outside, and a big play, maybe the biggest play of the game for Utah Tech today offensively.
Nothing going that time on the carry. That was Daniel Thomason's first catch in this game. It goes for 37 yards and gets them exactly to the Vandal, I should say the 50-yard line. Nobody's 50-yard line. Under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd. Coach, like you were saying, Vandals still in the lead. They've never trailed in this game, but a couple more explosives like that, and we could be back to a new ball game. Barbin goes back under center. It's Chris Street, the running back, who will get the fake. Barbin steps up. Pressure coming from his blind side. He escapes it. And what a run there by the redshirt freshman. All the way up for a 1st down.
Well, nice decision. I thought maybe he was going to try to throw the post, but it looked like it was covered pretty well as they go into some hurry-up stuff here back under center.
Turns. This time does give it to Street. Street forward for a few yards to the Vandal 35.
Slowly keeping into to field goal range here. With 31 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Field goal here does help you. Obviously, they want to score a touchdown, tie this game up, but getting this score to 13-9 sets them up okay going into the 4th here.
Here's Barbin. Gives it off. Chris Street forward for a few yards. That'll bring up a 3rd down. It was actually Bretton Stone on the carry. Coming up when the 4th quarter starts, a 3rd and 2, an absolutely massive play in this football game. 13-6, Idaho in front, trying to hold on to this lead when we come back. It's the 4th quarter, and it's coming up here on SWX. As we start the 4th quarter, the Idaho Vandals in front of the Utah Tech Trailblazers facing a 3rd down and 2 to start this 4th quarter. Austin Getz, the coach Adam Shackelford joining you. Coach, feels like there has not been a play bigger than this one so far in the game.
No, there hasn't. I think this is probably 2-down territory as well. They get to a 3rd and long 2. My guess is they have 2 plays in mind. One for this and one for maybe a 4th and short if they need it.
It's Reggie Graff in at quarterback. He's going to go straight ahead. Hit at the line of scrimmage. He did not get there. A 4th down coming up, and now it's decision time for Utah Tech.
Well, you wonder if they're going to go back to that I formation. Try to pound this football on 4th down.
They are going to go for it. It's Graff remaining in the game. 4th and 1. Idaho has thrived in these situations over the past few years. Graff hands it off. Chris Street with plenty of room to move the chains and then some, but a flag in the backfield. This could be coming back.
Yeah, we're going to have a hold on the backside guard or an illegal chop block, one or the other. There's a pile up. A lot of times the center will attack high and that guard can come below.
Personal foul, chop block. 16-79, 15-yard penalty.
And that's big because not instead of a 10-yard holding penalty, Coach, it's 15 yards, which will move them to the edge of field goal range, even for Uvedov, who has been excellent.
Yeah, and let me explain that quickly. You can go low on a defensive lineman, but you cannot go low if there's already high contact on that defensive lineman. That's where the chop block comes in. You've got a 1 yard on either side of the ball for those offensive linemen where they can cut block. They can work through the knees and thigh boards, but if someone's high in contact with a defensive lineman at the same time, it's a 15-yard penalty. That's an excellent call by this officiating staff.
That's going to push them back to the 44-yard line. So if you did try a field goal from here, it would be 16 yards. 16 yards. I flipped the numbers around. 61 yards. 16 yards ain't that difficult of a field goal.
I'm not sure it's completely out of his range. As we're going to get a delay of game. I think they're going to try to move the ball back 5 more yards so they can punt this thing away, knowing how strong the leg of their punter is.
Yeah, so they're going to take the delay of game, which Idaho does not have to accept. In fact, they do decline it, so that'll send out Ryan Marks. Or maybe not. Maybe they did walk it off. I thought I saw Court Dennison waving his arms like they wanted to decline it. Instead, Marks will get the extra 5 yards. So he's standing at the 35-yard line. Tony Harsty, who had a great return on the last time.
They got awful close to blocking the last one, too. Let's see if they bring pressure again with their front 7.
Make sure you avoid a roughing the kicker penalty here if you're Idaho. Snap, real no pressure for the Vandals. Marks puts a high end-over-end kick down to the Vandal 5 where Tony Harsty catches it, and that is where Idaho will start. 13 minutes and 39 seconds to find a winner here in Moscow. Vandals coming up on offense when we return. Trust the pros at Serve Pro of Spokane County to make like it never even happened happen. Aided by a Utah Tech penalty, the Idaho Vandals come up with a stop when they needed one, but the Trailblazers punt it down to the Vandal 6-yard line. Austin Getz, Coach Adam Shackelford with you. Coach, long ways to go for the Vandals, but if you go back to some of those drives in the first half that took a lot of time, then eventually ended in points, that's what you got to think the Vandals are hoping to draw up here as they go to Art Williams, who's having a career day, goes forward for positive yardage.
Yeah, I think ball came out in the end. I think they're marking him down. I don't know if we can get another look at it here, but I think, obviously an important drive as we see the replay here. Yeah, that looks like he's down. A cheek down there.
Gain of 7 for Williams, who continues to just be the difference in this game for Idaho so far, along with their defense. Second down for Joshua Wood. Gives it back off to Williams, who has room over the left side of the line. He'll have first down yardage and is pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, I think perfect scenario for Idaho, like you said, Austin, is one of those 6-7 minute drives that ends in 7, not 3, but 7. Really put the pressure on Utah Tech to come back at that point down 2 possessions.
Their lone touchdown drive, if you remember, took 14 plays, went 70 yards in 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Actually ate up the remainder of the first quarter and bit into some of the second as well. Fresh set of downs. Williams remains in the game with Wood. And they go right back to him. Stutter steps at the line, following his tight end. Trailblazers do a better job of stringing him out this time, but Williams still able to fall forward for 4 yards.
Well, and this is also the point in the game last week where Woods pulled the ball a couple times around the end for some big plays. Well, they sure are running that zone read a lot and handing off. I think at some point he's going to pull that thing, run around the end.
Under the 12-minute mark now. Vandals in front with the ball. A 2nd and 6 coming up as Art Williams continues to add to an outstanding day. Now 16 carries for 144 yards. Nate Thomas now in the game for the Vandals. And Wood pulls it out, but instead he's going to throw. He's got Emerson Cortez Menjivar, who gets close to the first down marker, but is down. And it'll bring up a 3rd down, and Utah Tech has their opportunity to force Idaho into a punt.
Yeah, definitely not 2-down territory here. They get a stop here, they're going to get a punt situation for Idaho, you would think. Finding a way to stay relevant in this football game. They know how important this drive is. Can't give up any points here as they substitute a full D line in here for what they believe is going to be an inside short yardage run.
And they bring in the short yardage back, Hayden Kinchelow. Huge 3rd down. Kinchelow straight ahead, straight forward, and has enough for the first down. You need 3 yards. You call number 37, Coach. He'll get them for you any way he can.
Well, and a first down there means another 40 seconds off the clock, which is big as well. Idaho this season have been clock grinders. You do not want to get behind on this football team. You get behind 2 possessions in the 4th quarter against this offense, you're in big trouble because they do not give the ball back very easily.
Idaho now 230 yards rushing. They have dominated on the ground in this game. Wood pulls it this time, and he's got room. Coach had called for it. He's up into the 2nd level, and he's across midfield, holds onto that football. Joshua Wood, he sets it up like a boxer using that jab, and there came the big overhand right.
Yeah, you'd say, oh, you'd like to see it more. I know you have to protect your captain, your star a little bit. But again, this is just a great read. I love guys who want the football in their hand when times get tough, when you need a big play. That's why that C is on that young man's chest. He's a leader, he's a captain. He's very effective at what he does on the football field.
Now 9 carries for around 50 yards for Wood. As the clock now under 9.5 minutes, the Vandals into Utah Tech territory. The handoff is to Nate Thomas. He's wrapped up around the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for positive yardage. Devin Perkins coming up and making the tackle there for the Trailblazers.
No hurry right now by Idaho, and why would you? A great job, again, by this coaching staff. These players understand environment. They understand situational football. They understand, listen, I'm going to get up slow. We're going to take our time. We're going to burn every second we can, and we'll try to punch it in here at the end and take this game home.
There hasn't been any snap that has come before there was less than 10 seconds on the play clock. Dalen Love with a big play there for Utah Tech that's going to force Idaho into a 3rd and long. By the time they snap this ball, it'll be around 8 minutes. Vandals have been very good on 3rd down in this game. At least they started that way. Since then, it's been a bit of a struggle. Still 6 for 12, so 50% on 3rd down.
Look for them to get Woods here maybe out of the pocket, run some kind of roll out to his throwing side, or they've got 4 wide receivers, some kind of curl over the middle for the first down.
Wood pulls it, goes forwards, got good yardage, but he's short by about 2 yards. Big decision here. You have LJ Harm, you can pin them deep. However, you're very good running the football, especially in short yardage. We'll see what they do. Art Williams is coming off the sideline. The Vandals are at least showing like they're going to go for this.
Well, and there's no hesitation. There was no discussion. Coach Ford said, send in the big boys. And this is, you know, I thought this was going to be 4th and now we get a timeout. I think this is a little farther than everybody thought. I thought the spot was closer to the 40-yard line. Must have been a knee or something down early.
Big decision to make. We'll take a break while they talk it over. A 4th down coming up in a 1-possession game in the 4th quarter here on SWX. Perfection Tire and Auto Repair. Nobody beats perfection. A big decision to make for the Idaho Vandals after Joshua Wood looked like he made it a little bit closer to that first down marker. Now it is a full 2.5 yards to go on 4th down, but the Vandals are keeping the offense out there. Coach, what do you think?
I think Coach Ford believes in his offense right now. I think after last week he said, listen, I don't want this to come down to one last possession unless it has to. I'm going to put it in my quarterback's hands. See if they maybe roll him out here to the right and give him maybe some kind of run pass option for himself.
Wood's got Art Williams in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. Drops back. Looking, firing over the middle. Got his man! First down, it's Ryan Jesiaro.
Boy, that is a big-time throw as Jesiaro gets up a little slow here. I think he landed on the ball, maybe had the wind knocked out of him. Let's hope that's all it is.
He's quickly sitting back up. Remember, he has the lone touchdown in this game. Came back in the second quarter as he's now talking to the Idaho trainers. But boy, what a bullet that was from Joshua Wood, right on the numbers of Jesiaro, who's able to move the chains and now is getting help to his feet. We hope to see him back in this game shortly.
Well, it goes back to the old adage, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games and situations. We just saw that out of Mr. Woods there with a short post route by Bizarro, just an absolute strike. Again, intangibles. Does your quarterback have the intangibles? And this young man certainly does. So impressed today with his play.
That was his 5th catch for 50 yards. So now Idaho in the red zone, trying to find a touchdown that would make it a 2-possession lead. And a handoff to Emerson Cortez Menjivar on the sweep. He'll get a couple yards and go out of bounds.
Yeah, he's going to get reminded by his coaches to stay in bounds.
7:01 remaining. As the clock ticks down under that 7-minute mark. Idaho moving methodically. As Art Williams still in the backfield with Joshua Wood. Pulls it, and Wood looking to beat his man around the corner. He turns on the afterburners. Touchdown, Idaho. Deja vu. It was last week where he set it up and then pulled it for a touchdown late in the 4th quarter. He's done the same here.
Yeah, just taking advantage of some aggressive play there by the outside linebacker, Will Alava. A great game, all games, been very active. That time a little too active. He's got quarterback responsibility on the zone read, and he peeks his head, takes one too many steps inside on that running back, and Woods pulls it and takes it around the end. And what sets that up? A great day by the stable running backs we've had.
Another long clock-eating drive that ends in a touchdown. The Vandals lead by 14. Utah Tech, time winding down. We'll see if they have an answer as Joshua Wood gives his team a 20-6 advantage. This is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcast rights granted by the University of Idaho. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the University of Idaho and Learfield. A 12-play, 94-yard drive capped by that man Joshua Wood running it in for a touchdown has Idaho up 20-6. And coach, while the touchdown is outstanding, what the Vandal coaching staff is almost equally happy with, it took 7 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock.
It's exactly what you said when they were back on the 6-yard line. You called it exactly what they needed, finishing with 7. An ideal drive for the Idaho Vandals.
Now Utah Tech has to go quick here as they're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. They'll have a touchback to start a drive here. Throwing the ball has not really been the success for them today. Their offense has been stifled really any way you look at it. 118 yards throwing the ball. Though they were able to go quick, remember, at the end of the first half and get down into field goal range. So we'll see if the Trailblazers are able to get this ball moving quickly.
And you look how teams are built. They're not built to come back from two possession deficits.
Bronson Barbin in to start this drive. Steps up, throws, and it's a little bit wide. That was almost in the range of something that could be intercepted. That time it was Eric Olson actually making a good defensive play and just swatting that one down to the turf. One thing do want to give Bronson Barbin credit for, Reggie Graff as well. They have been plagued by turnovers, including 5 interceptions this season. No turnovers in this game so far. A handoff up the middle for a couple of yards. That'll bring up a 3rd down for the Trailblazers. And Idaho trying to get them quickly off the field. Almost think, though, unless it's a major loss of yardage, you're in 4-down territory already.
I would say that the way Idaho can eat up the clock, this is 4th and 3. I think they go for it.
Barbin drops back. Well protected. Throws up the sideline. It is incomplete. Boy, how is that not picked off? Screaming up from his position was Matt Irwin, but not able to haul it in.
And unfortunately for Utah Tech, this is the right call. On 4th and 7, you got to punt this football away. Try to pin them deep. Maybe use your timeouts a little earlier than you want to. Try to get this football back around midfield.
So Ryan Marks called on to punt once again. Idaho has got to be happy with this defense. This is an offense that came in averaging close to 30 points a game, and the Vandals have held them to 2 field goals. Fake punt thrown, and it will be picked up. Ryan Marks flipped it out to the flat, and that's where it was grabbed for a 1st down. Daniel Thomason, wow.
Well, they ran a motion in and lined a guy up inside. You see which made a different guy eligible. It's a nice design fake punt. I kind of thought they may try something once I saw that motion. Just a well-designed play.
So it gives Utah Tech life for the moment. Barbin steps up, throws over the middle, delivers a strike that's hauled in for a gain of about 8 by Dejon Harrison.
Now they're going to hurry up a little bit, set the tempo here of this game, knowing they've got to score quick and get the ball back.
Under 5 minutes to go, 2nd and short. Barbin, pressured immediately, throws for the sideline, and that will be incomplete, brings up a 3rd down.
Well, a lot of people probably think, well, is that intentional grounding? Because he was outside the pocket and he got the ball past the line of scrimmage, that's a safe play for the quarterback to protect himself.
3rd and short. Nothing off the table for Utah Tech. We just saw him run a fake punt. Vandal crowd trying to get behind their defense one more time. Barbin steps up, runs it himself. He's got just enough for a 1st down.
Yep, both officials wave the sticks.
He took a hard shot, too, and is slow to get up. He'll actually come to the sideline now as Reggie Graff comes in. Not sure if they were planning on doing that no matter what, or do they just see that number 8's banged up.
He's holding his arm like it might be his shoulder.
Clock winding down towards 4 minutes. Graff, the lefty, steps up. He's going to try and take off and run. He's got about a yard or so before he's dropped. Sam Brown, Central Valley Bear, the one to him to get him on the turf. 4 minutes to go. Graff handles a low snap, throws it out to the flat where it's caught but immediately dropped after it was Harrison to haul it in. Third down coming up.
Yeah, and dropped in bounds. Good job by Idaho there to keep him in bounds.
So another third down for Utah Tech. They're 5 of 12 in this department, but obviously 4 down territory now. Graff steps up, throws over the middle, incomplete, missed his man as it was Thomason who caught the fake punt that kept this drive alive. New personnel coming in for Utah Tech, but they're obviously going.
Not a bad throw. Looks like Thomason wasn't ready for it. Couple nice throws there by Graff.
Fourth down, feels like this is the game. If the Trailblazers want any hope, they got to pick this up. Remember how dangerous Graff is with his legs. He throws it out, and he's got Chapman. Collision. He's got it. Gets the nose of the football across the line to gain, so that will keep this Utah Tech drive alive, but the Vandals not allowing any chunk plays, just kind of yards here and there as we're down to 3 minutes.
Yeah, Vandals need to keep everything in front of them. Come up, try to keep them in bounds, tackle.
Snap. Graff evades a rusher, evades another, goes forward for about 5 yards.
Well, you can evade a lot of things in life, but you're not going to evade Isaiah King. Rangy, athletic, just a specimen. Just watching the picture of the defense out here, that young man sticks out as, wow, he's got something special.
Graff steps up, throws, has a man open, has a first down. It's Harrison, but he can't get to the sideline. The clock will momentarily stop while they reset these chains. But by the time they snap this, we could be at the 2-minute timeout.
Looks like they're going to try to get one more play.
Trying to get the snap off. Down to 2:03. Graff is going to take a shot down the field. Intercepted! It's Aaron Kinsey. His first career interception. The redshirt freshman might have put this game on ice. We'll take a break and come back. Vandals celebrating 50 years in the Kibby Dome with what looks like it's going to be a win. Today's play of the game brought to you by Best Western Plus University Inn, the premier lodging property on the Palouse in Moscow. And you saw it just a moment ago. Aaron Kinsey flying out of frame to come in and get his first career interception, Coach.
Yeah, I love to see it. Everybody up in Spokane, remember Aaron Kinsey as a quarterback from Rogers High School. A lot of fans up there happy to see one of their GSL young men saving this game and putting it away here, looks like, for Idaho.
It also used up the 2-minute timeout. That was the last play that Utah Tech was able to snap the ball before the 2-minute mark. Here's Joshua Wood pulling it and just diving down, making sure to cover up the football. Trailblazers will start using their timeouts. They had 3 remaining. They just used their first.
Another good decision there by the captain of the offense, who's now just about 7 yards away from 100 yards rushing on the day. Another magnificent game by him. The other thing we don't talk about enough is he doesn't turn the football over. He doesn't always make the big play. He's still young. He's only a sophomore. He doesn't always make the right play. but he also doesn't make the big mistake. And I think that's what makes him valuable to what Coach Ford is trying to build here at Idaho. And I think he's going to be very special for years.
Minute and 50 seconds after Coach Lance Anderson used his first timeout. Ball security, obviously a premium for Idaho right now. Nate Thomas, sure-handed back with Joshua Wood in the backfield. This will be a handoff to Thomas, who goes forward for a few more yards. We'll bring up a 3rd and short on the other time of Utah Tech's second timeout.
Well, and the rushing today has been outstanding, and being a former college offensive line coach, I can't not give this front 5 a lot of credit today. Charlie Blim, Nate Azapurdy, Leighton Vining, Leon Evans, Keegan Henson, dominating the front, dominating the line of scrimmage, and dominating this Utah Tech front 7. Just a very impressive showing for that front 5 today.
Vandals have now run for 286 yards and counting. On 42 attempts, that's close to 7 yards per carry. And really only one really long run inflating those numbers. That's actually way more accurate than what it sounds like. It's not like there were 2 80-yard runs that are blowing up those numbers. It's been close to 7 yards per tote. So this is a 3rd down. And Utah Tech with just 1 timeout remaining, you figure if Idaho picks it up, that's really going to be the end of that. And it's going to be straight ahead for enough for a 1st down. Nate Thomas, and that will cause the Trailblazers to use their final timeout. And we are just on the edge or right to kneel down territory.
Yeah, just another good finish.
Great finish.
Idaho Vandals are finding ways to win football games. And it's not always pretty, but when you can run the football, especially in the Big Sky, you look at teams that have had success, Idaho, Montana State, Montana. Teams that can run the football with success have success in the Big Sky. And I think this is a great final warm-up for what they're about to embark on as you see the offensive line coach getting excited down there, hugging his boys. They're getting ready to head into Big Sky Conference play, I think with a lot of confidence in this football team and what they could accomplish this season.
Yeah, looking ahead for both of these 2 teams. Idaho next week will be at San Jose State, a chance to knock off an FBS program, which they've kind of made a name of doing the last few years. Meanwhile, for Utah Tech, they will return home to face Northern Iowa. Art Williams, who had a career day.
Well, and let's give Utah Tech some credit.
Absolutely.
They have a tough schedule. They are not backing down from anybody. Northern Iowa is a good football team too.
Little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards here. Seems like cooler heads have prevailed down there. As the clock will run, the Vandals will need to snap this a few more times, but just a really impressive performance. And coach, something I'm noticing for the last, especially a game against Washington State, and then also through these last 2 weeks against St. Thomas and now Utah Tech, the Vandals are a very good second half team. Now you never want to get off to a slow start, but the Vandals seem to really do their damage in the second half of games.
Well, and let's give credit again to this coaching staff. That means adjustments are being made. That means they're saying the right things at halftime. They're looking at what Utah Tech and their opponents are trying to do to them, and they're making changes. That's a credit to the coaching staff and the effort of these young men in yellow jerseys today.
We're under 40 seconds. The Vandals will need to snap it one more time, and this game will be in the books. Idaho improving to 2-1 on the season, 2-0 against fellow FCS opponents. Utah Tech will meanwhile go 0-3, but their record does not reflect how hard they have played their trio of Big Sky opponents to start this season. And remember, this will be a conference game starting next season. Vandals back on offense, and back with a knee on the ground is Joshua Wood, and that will do it. This one ends a 20-6 win for Idaho, who have won their last 8 games here at the Kibbe Dome as they celebrate 50 years in this building with another win. Let's name our player of the game, brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota on 3rd Street. If you're looking to score the best deals on your favorite Toyotas, come to Findlay. And Coach, a lot of candidates for Idaho, but Art Williams just dominated on the field today.
Yeah, you know, it's not always flashy when he gets the football, but it sure is fun to watch. Kind of what we call in football, maybe a little bit of a throwback player. Gets the tough yards, gets the big yard, and here's that big 70-yard explosion. Not quite able to finish, but boy, I love the effort, and I love the style of his play and everything he brings to this offense. 16
carries for 144 yards. Didn't find the end zone, but found a lot of room to run. Remember to tune in to SWX next Saturday for more college football as the Eastern Washington Eagles welcome the Leathernecks of Western Illinois to the red turf of Roos Field. Kickoff set for 4 o'clock. Eagles and the Leathernecks live next Saturday only on SWX, your home for local sports. And wanted to let you know that the proceeding has been a Learfield presentation of the Vandal Sports Network. That's going to do it for us here at the Kibbe Dome. For my broadcast partner, Adam Shackelford, for our entire SWX broadcast team, I'm Austin Getz saying, hey, let's do 50 more years in this building, and thanks for watching us here on SWX. A 20-6 victory for the Idaho Vandals, who improved to 2-1.